This week on Previews World Weekly, we discuss the new Black Adam trailer, your picks for the most influential creators in comics, and we'll unpack the Sandman trailer as well. It's all happening right now on Previews World Weekly.
What's up, Previews World? It's Wednesday. It's New Comic Book Day, which means it's time for Previews World Weekly. I'm one of your hosts, Jeffrey Allen.
I'm your other host, Ashton Greenwood, aka the Duchess of Free Comic Book Day, and I have baby pigtails today.
All right. Baby pigtails will win, actually. Let me scoop. I got a lot of space going on over here. Okay, there you go. Real quick, I just want to remind people. I'm not sure if I was supposed to remind people or you were supposed to let people know, Ashton, but episode 200 is coming up.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Not sure whose job that was, but we'll tell you right now.
We'll tell you right now. You know what? Look, I take advantage of the fact that this show is live, and we can just kind of stumble into something that's a big deal, like our 200th episode. So just 4 episodes away. I will remind you afterwards about that later on in the show. But yeah, keep an eye out, guys, because 200 episodes. Like Ashton, I feel like you've been here for maybe about half. Actually, more than half, I'd say.
Oh, yes, it's a little more than half.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more than half. And I've been here for roughly all 200, minus some vacation days here and there. But you know who's been here for? Well, actually, you know what? I was going to say Johnny's been here for all 200, but Johnny's had to take vacation days too. Thank God. I think after 200 episodes, I think Johnny has deserved a few vacation
well deserved.
Days. But yeah, keep an eye out, guys, because we're going to be talking more about that later in the show. And for the next 4 episodes, we'll be reminding you as well that it's coming our next 3 episodes.
Also, before we switch topics really quick, I want to point out that we'll be moving back to in studio for the 200th episode and beyond.
Yes. And there'll be a new studio, actually. So something else to look forward to. I see Annie Fox is like, Johnny,
oh my God.
Johnny, I hit the same comment. 200 more. Thank you very much.
You can do that.
Yeah, I know Marty calls himself Old Man Previews. Marty is the editor in chief of Previews Catalog. But after 200, if I do 400 episodes of Previews World Weekly, I want to be Old Man Preview.
It'll be well deserved.
There you go. Actually, no, even after 200 episodes, I don't think I would have beat Marty's time. Now that I think about it,
Marty's been here for like 40 years.
Yeah.
Maybe that's too much. I don't want to age him too much.
But yeah, Old Man Previews, Marty, he does the intros and the editor's commentary at the beginning of the catalog every single month. All right, Ashton. Let's talk about things we saw real quick. Dark Horse, what are they doing and why do you care so much?
I'm hype. Dark Horse is creating a replica of the House Atreides signet ring as it appears in the movie. Oscar Isaac wears it as Duke Leto. And it's their red Hulk crest that just symbolizes House Atreides. He uses it to stamp the paperwork when they accept Arrakis as their new kind of ward planet. And then he passes it on to Paul later. And it is an exact replica. It's sculpted by Gentle Giant, sold through Dark Horse. And it looks 100% the same as it does in the movie.
Yeah, that looks
real legit. It's just super cool. I want it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Like, if you show up for 200 episodes, Ashton, with that ring on your finger, I won't ask questions. I'll be like, you know what? It makes sense. I dig it.
With it.
I mean, you typically do rings, right? Was it something that you wear casually, or would you break out for special occasions?
I feel like it would have to be something I would break out for special occasions. I'm concerned because it only comes in one size, and I'm imagining that it's the size of a full-grown adult male, and I have little toddler hands, so I probably won't be able to actually wear it.
That is a little. I wonder if you can get it resized. I wonder if that's a thing. Like,
that's possible.
Like when you get a wedding ring, it's like they put the little fits on it and whatnot. I wonder. But yeah, special occasions, Ashton. I expect you to see it. And no backhanding someone at a Baltimore Ravens show a Baltimore Ravens game is not a special occasion.
Oh my God! Could you imagine just opening a backhand? Oh my God, that would be lethal.
That would be lethal. You go to jail for that. Oh, chain around neck. Look, Annie Fox being a little thug nasty with the chain around the neck. Actually, that's you're a little too gangster for us, Annie. I think you need to calm down. Jeez.
You know what's funny? Johnny pointed out the same thing in our private chat.
Oh, he did? Okay, that's funny. Yeah, so keep an eye out for that. I don't know if that's coming directly to previews, maybe eventually at some point, but I know Dark Horse is pushing it out there. So, show your support because they're definitely one of our premier publishers. Also, I got a point real quick. Have you ever noticed that everything from the 1920s to the 1990s just kind of gets cycled in and out? Have you noticed that?
Oh God, yeah. Everything is just a fad that is popular again, 50 years later.
Right, like the fashions, the entertainment, et cetera, right? And it seems to me that the 20th century was like the pinnacle of culture. I'm gonna stick my neck out right now and say it's a pinnacle. I know I see you're kind of like, okay, that's a take, but I'm gonna say it is because we keep going back to it so aggressively. And
I'm with it. I love the 80s. I was not alive in the 80s, but I'm with it. They were so cool. Like you got ridiculous hair, stadium rock, hair bands, Ronald Reagan. Mileage may vary on that one.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Fair. But look, hey. Okay. So you will, even though you're technically not in Team 80s, you will represent Team 80s, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm definitely representing Team 80s. Like I am definitely part of that clan. And here's something for the 80s kids: the DeLorean is back. And this is kind of nuts. So of course, I feel like most people know of the DeLorean from Back to the Future, right? And I don't think that's a stretch. The car basically didn't survive past the release of the first film. Matter of fact, it died and was off the assembly line before the movie even came out. Which has a lot to do with that, why it's so rare and so highly coveted. But yeah, in 2024, DeLorean Motors, which is back again, which is the thing again, is making an electric coupe called the Alpha 5. And yes, it has gull wings. So
that was my immediate next question.
Yeah, of course it does. If you can't call it a DeLorean if it doesn't have gull wings. And so so don't even try to do anything other than parallel park with this thing, because if you try to park in between two cars, you're not going to get out.
Oh, that's a great.
So you didn't think about that, right? Very tragic design flaw with the DeLorean is actually that you cannot park next to people. But yeah, the top speed is 155 miles per hour. Hits 60 miles per hour in 2.9 seconds. For those of you who are gearheads and are interested in that sort of thing, it looks like I might have misread this. It looks like there's a Tesla Model S edition that is faster that they're going to be releasing, possibly. But yeah, I just thought it was cool. I think it's cool, and actually kind of think the car looks cool. Actually, I don't know if we got a really good look at it, but some of the versions that they've been toting around have like this burgundy version. That's actually nice look, nice fit. I kind of dig it. Yeah, burgundy. I wouldn't go with burgundy, but that's what that's the version they showed off in the article I read. Who could have used an electric DeLorean? Doc Brown.
Okay, yeah, for sure. They wouldn't have needed to do the whole lightning thing. That would have solved a lot of problems.
Actually, we're going to save that for our next conversation. I guess it'll be next week. We talk about plot holes. I think that's definitely going to be something. I'm going to plant my flag in that right now. All right.
I don't think it is. I'm going to plant my flag in that right now.
Okay. All right. You got to holster it, because we got to sit on that until Johnny's able to talk about this in detail, because I think he has a strong argument here. But yeah, let's get into what's at comic shops, right? So Ashton's got a pick this week. I got my pick this week, and on top of that, we'll give you a rundown of some of the toys available at your local comic shops. So let's get it. New release Wednesday. All right, you know what? Since we're on an 80s kick, I'm gonna kick it up a notch, right? Actually, maybe this won't be a notch. It'll be on the same plane of existence.
Okay, sure.
Right. Something for the 80s kids, right? So Previous World definitely has video games, specifically retro games. And if you look behind me, I don't know if you guys can see it. Can you see it right here? Yeah, right there. I do like the mini arcades.
Oh yeah, the arcade machines. Yeah.
I like the mini arcades. And eventually I want to get a big boy arcade, but my wife kind of crushed my hopes and dreams on that one. So in the meantime, if you're like me and you're misunderstood and hated on in your own home, you can negotiate a quarter arcade from Numbskull, which is available through previews, actually. Shocker, right? Like it's not a full-size arcade cabinet, but bigger than the ones I have now, and but smaller than your traditional arcade. This week they're dropping the Miss Pac-Man one, which is kind of cool, and they do also make Pac-Man, Bobble Bobble, which I love saying, and Dig Dug. And also I got to point out, not only that, you will not probably go to your local comic shop and see this just sitting there ready to purchase today, right? But this is more of a heads up to let you know that this is something that Previews World does offer to people. And if you had previewsworld.com/pullbox, if you went to previewsworld.com/pullbox and signed up for Previews World Pullbox, you would be already in the know. And you would probably already have one on your way, on their way to you. So also, we've been working on a gaming section on the website. We've been trying to update it on a regular basis. It's on previewsworld.com. So if you in general are just a gamer, right? If you just like the video games, then check out the gaming section on our website, because it's a nice array of things from tabletop to, things like Elden Ring and stuff like that. So definitely check it out. Ashton. What is your pick this week?
Okay, I'm going to get to my pick in a second, but the first thing I have to say is I've spent the entire time you were talking about this Mrs. Pac-Man game, just like having flashbacks about how much anxiety Pac-Man gives me. The game stresses me out. Space Invaders stresses me out. Galaga, when you're like, the ship sucks up your ship and then you got to shoot it to get 2 ships. Stressful. 80s games are a different breed.
Oh, no. I've heard people say this repeatedly, and I do feel that this is I feel like this is 100% true. The older retro games, like the 8-bit, 16-bit stuff, were way harder.
Yeah.
Like unforgivingly harder. Like, I will honestly tell you guys, there's some classics that I've owned. I've owned them for a long time. And, I'm talking about cartridge classics, and I've never beat them. Just never beat them. Like, I never will beat them, just because, like, they're unruly. they're just unforgiving. So anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ashton. What's your pick this week?
No, you're okay. I had to get that off my chest. Like, I feel like I have flashbacks anytime Pac-Man comes up.
Little Pac-Man PTSD.
Yeah, a little bit. My pick this week is New Think #1 from AWA Studios.
Oh, nice.
This is the first of 5 in a new kind of anthology series they're doing. Each of these 5 stories will be standalone, that tackles kind of a tale of its own, and they'll each have their own art team. And so this particular one examines the kind of rapid proliferation of technology, how it becomes so ubiquitous so quickly, and then kind of the cultural and political polarization of the country as a result of this access to technology. And it kind of takes this approach of dealing with our present circumstances in a super futuristic way in an attempt to kind of make people realize where we're standing. And I think this is an interesting approach. Unfortunately, one that doesn't always land the way it's meant to, right? Because if you think about books like Fahrenheit 451 or Brave New World or 1984, all of these cautionary tales, people get their hands on them and they read them and they're like, yo, that's crazy. Like, that would be so wild if that happened in our society. Like, what would we do? And then it just kind of goes over people's heads that, like, we've arrived there. So I think that's what they're trying to do with this New Think concept. I hope it lands.
Interesting.
The historical approach of that has, mixed results in terms of how people are with the uptake.
Well, you know what I mean, that's why it's worth repeating, right? Like, just
absolutely,
just like, and that's why it's such fertile ground for great stories and whatnot. So I feel you on that. All right, New Thing. You know what? That's actually right up my alley too. I'm surprised I missed that. Like, I actually will circle back to them and place an order for that, because I'm curious where that's going. I had a friend who likes to say constantly. He just reminds me every now and then that, like, cyberpunk is now.
Oh,
like we're not getting there. We are already there.
Right.
And you know what? When you really think about the tenets, or maybe the concepts that are consistent in cyberpunk, in the cyberpunk genre, they're all right there. It's already here right now. So
oh boy.
Yeah. Very interesting to read this New Think book. That actually might be revelatory in itself. So that's actually pretty interesting. All right, cool. I got a reading recommendation from Ashton. Look at that. I love it.
Yay.
Let's see here. So, okay, of course, I told you that you can get arcades through Previews World, right? You can get comic books, of course, through Previews World. It's definitely the thing we're most known for. But you can also get an array of collectibles. So here's Natasha with this week's rundown of Action Figures Toys. Oh.
Apologies. It is actually going to be new comics with Mia this week.
Oh, it's new comics with Mia this week.
I apologize. That is my mistake. But yes, we're going to have Mia this week.
Okay. Oh, you got no problem. Actually, Annie Fox calling us out. Are you going to talk about robot overlords again?
I mean, liable for it to happen nearly every week.
It might. We will probably just go off into a tangent at some point. Like, let's say every week and a half. There'll be a tangent.
It's like every other week, every 2 weeks, but it's
Right.
frequent.
Right. Now I'll give a half because sometimes it's on camera, sometimes it's off camera. And the off camera ones are the really scary ones that you guys don't want to be a part of. But anyway, all right. So here are this week's new releases, and when we come back, I'll tell you about actually a collectible that's mind-boggling. Check this out.
Mia here with a look at what's at comic shops for the week of June 8th, 2022. So let's jump on in. We're just getting started. The world of comics has even more to offer. So stop at a shop already and you might just find your new favorite thing. See ya.
All right. Well, sorry, that totally threw me off. I was like, wait a minute. Did we disappear for a second? But yeah, check out more at preesworld.com/new release. And not just this week, but every single week. I did see some people see some people complaining that, well, not complaining, but letting us know that the trade paperbacks this week were kind of off. Like some of the graphic novels that were dropping this week were from last week. So we're aware, we know, we're working to fix it. Sorry about that, guys. But I will tell you, preesworld.com/new releases is the best, most consistent place to get an idea of what's coming to your local comic shop. And that's toys, comics, of course, graphic novels, games, anything. So definitely check it out. All right, real quick. I want to talk. What's up? What's wrong? You still laughing at us?
I feel like I can't recover. You're just like, well, all right.
Well, all right. Okay. You know, you know what? I've recovered from worse, so it's okay. Sorry. Actually, speaking of which, Monkey Jeebus, I'm kind of drunk right now.
Oh, all right. You do you. Full send.
You know what? It's Wednesday at 4:22 p.m., but maybe it's, I don't know, 1:22 p.m. somewhere else. It doesn't get better, actually. I can't.
Why do you go that direction?
I don't. You know what? I was trying to make him feel better about it, and then I was like, you know what? I don't. Unless he's like in the UK, and it's probably like 4:00 in the morning, and even still, I don't think that's
it's like 9:22 in the UK.
Is it 9:20 at night?
Drinking hours, yeah.
Oh, okay, at PM. Okay, all right. How did you know that off the top of your head?
I studied abroad in Wales in college, so now the time difference just lives in my head.
Oh wow. Okay, never mind. See, I didn't know that about Miss Ashton. Check that out. Okay, so yeah, I mentioned earlier that we're going to show you something that's going to blow your mind. At least I think it's mind-blowingly like insane. All right. So look, you can own Chris Hemsworth.
Okay. As I've said before, he's not the best Chris, but I'll take him.
Okay. All right. This isn't out this week, but I thought this was kind of nuts. It's from Thor and Love and Thunder, a life-size Hemsworth for your home.
That's wild.
Or wherever, you know.
Wherever.
Yeah, and I should not bury the leads here. It is $13,000 for your own Chris Hemsworth. So yeah.
It's full size, right? How tall is he? He's tall. He's like 6'4",
right.
Isn't he?
I mean, this is life size. Actually, John, if you cycle through, they'll kind of show you a height comparison. Not directly of Hemsworth, but as to someone like about 5'5" or something like that. If I remember correctly. It looks like him, which I gotta give him credit. Here you go.
Oh my god.
So yeah, they do centimeters, which is, you know, I don't even know what the conversion. Yeah, I don't know what the conversion is on that. Sorry, I'm an American. But yeah. Nuts that there is a life-size Chris Hemsworth statue that you can own. Now that said, like I've seen similar replicas, I guess you call it a replica, right?
Mhm.
Of characters in movies and et cetera, et cetera. And then like stores buy them and put them in the window. Like there was a life-size Predator, which was like 7 feet tall that I remember seeing at
Oh my God, that's
a shop in that used to be in Maryland actually. So
I have to like, I'm just, if you got this like as a private person, right? Like you don't get it as part of your shop. You just buy it to have it. Like, where are you putting this? This is going to take up an astronomical amount of space.
it is. I mean, you just really got. But here's the thing: I guarantee you, at least one fangirl or fanboy. I'm not going to discriminate. It is Pride Month. Will probably buy this and have it in their home somehow, some way.
Go off, go you. Like,
yeah. What they do with it is their business. I don't want to know, but yes, go off, go do you. All right. Anyway, we're gonna leave it at that. How about we get into some news?
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Ashton, take it away. It's news time.
Life-sized news.
Yes, Johnny.
Actually, it is. It is life-size because it happened in real life.
It's true. Facts. All facts.
All facts. All right. What's going on in the world of nerddom, Ashton?
All right. So we got our first Sandman trailer for this new series coming to Netflix on August 5th. A lot of the reactions in the comments were overwhelmingly positive, which is, a good take so far. People are really excited about it. They seem
refreshing.
to think that it's, this has been interpreted before, or adapted, I should say, before, to kind of mixed results. So far, it seems overwhelmingly positive. So to give some context, maybe to those that are less familiar, I will read off Netflix's description of what you can expect in this show. So there is another world that waits for all of us when we close our eyes and sleep, a place called the Dreaming, where the Sandman, master of dreams, gives shapes to all of our deepest fears and fantasies. But when Dream is unexpectedly captured and held prisoner for a century, his absence sets off a series of events that will change both the dreaming and waking worlds forever. To restore order, Dream must journey across different worlds and timelines to mend the mistakes he's made during his vast existence, revisiting old friends and foes and meeting new entities, both cosmic and human, along the way. So, thoughts, opinions, Troy? Have you gotten a chance to watch the trailer?
So this is actually the first. I'm sorry. The reason I'm silent is because I'm actively watching the trailer for the first time. No, but this is kind of neat. Like I'm at a point now with Netflix where when I hear it's a Netflix production, I'm like, maybe this could work, just because it is hit or miss. Like, they tend to scale down on some of these high concept shows, I'll say, right? But that looks pretty cool. And I'm actually kind of shocked that the guy that they got to play Morpheus actually kind of looks like him. That's actually pretty interesting. So
I don't know anything about it, so I went in totally blind watching the trailer, but it looked mega cool. Yeah, I'm interested. It got my attention.
Okay, you give it a watch if you want to debut. Okay, cool. All right.
I'll give it a try.
Nice. Cool. What else we got?
Got some Marvel's breaking comic books again. Mutant Kind is set to send shockwaves through the Marvel Universe once again with this year's Hellfire Gala. At last year's gala, the mutants changed the face of the solar system by terraforming Mars and claiming it for mutant kind, which is wild. So this year they will continue the tradition with more game-changing developments and the exciting reveal of a new X-Men lineup. And it'll lead into the events of Axe Judgment Day in a giant-sized issue. We love a giant-sized issue. So it'll be written by the current X-Men writer Gary Duggan and featuring artworks from Chris Anka, Russell Dodderman, Matteo Lally, and CF Villa. If you want the backstory leading into this, you are encouraged to pick up Immortal X-Men and the current X-Men to kind of get your whole run. This will have 6 variant covers and the main cover, so 7 total options to get your hands on, and it'll be hitting shops July 13th.
That's nice. I gotta say, I actually just read Immortal X-Men over the weekend, and yeah, it's pretty cool. And like, I actually like the Hellfire Gala stuff. Like, I see some fans who are probably my age complaining about it just because it's a little too contemporary, I guess, for some people's taste. But I think it's cool, and it's like a neat way to kind of get people talking about comics, but also be part of a larger pop culture conversation. It's no surprise or shock that this is very much based on the Met Gala. You know what I mean? And it's cool because you get to see all these different artists try to revamp the traditional fashions, the classics, of these characters and give them something that's good for a red carpet event. You know what I mean? So
love that.
yeah, I think that's cool. I actually think it's neat. I think it's good for comics. So I'm all in 100%. Let's see here. What else is going on? Actually, let's talk about. Well, no, you know what? Johnny's got the Hake stuff queued up, so we'll do Black Adams afterwards. So okay, real quick, a little shout out to Hakes, right? We mentioned on last week's show, but we wanted to give you some better details. Hakes Auctions, full disclosure, which is part of Previous World's family, right? Established a new milestone. The Star Wars auction that closed last week highlighted a Boba Fett prototype, and that bad boy went for $236,000, the highest ever price for a Star Wars action figure.
That's crazy.
Which is really saying something when you really think about it, because I mean, Star Wars stuff has been highly collectible and very much sought after for 40 years now, over 40 years. So that's kind of nuts. Let me know if this makes any sense to you at all, Ashton, or the collectors at all, right? So the prototype, an L slot rocket firing example.
Sound cut out. I hope it's not just me.
Am I jumping out?
Nope, you're back now.
Okay. And has been estimated at $100,000 to $200,000, and it was unpainted. So for those you missed, it's the L slot rocket firing Boba Fett, and it was AFA graded 80 plus near mint, and it was in an archival case. Wow. So this is one of those super rare things. It was actually highlighted pre-Boba Fett, the TV show. They did a little highlighted piece about it in the little mini Boba Fett documentary. I think it's called like Under the Helmet or something like that. Right before Disney Plus released the TV show. So I'm sure that only raised its visibility for a lot of people. So shout out to Hakes, 236,000. That's nuts. Also, let's talk about Black Adam real quick. Ashton, did you get a chance to watch the trailer?
I did.
Okay, cool. What did you think so far? Because I know you're coming from the outside in, right? And you're like, okay, make me want to care. So I want to hear what you have to say here.
So I feel like in terms of the make me want to care, it was kind of I had a neutral response to this trailer. Like, it looked cool. I like The Rock. I just don't feel like it grabbed my attention, and I didn't really walk away feeling like all that excited or understanding really what it is I'm going to be getting from this movie, other than just The Rock, like, beating guys up, which is like, I could get that watching The Fast and the Furious. It looked cool. Don't get me wrong. It looks cool. Like, the production on it looks neat. I don't know. I didn't get the level of excitement from this trailer that I was hoping for, especially given the fact that everyone was like hype about it on Twitter before I watched it. So I don't know.
Okay. Actually, I already see there's some cameos here that I didn't see before. Dr. Fate, for sure. So, okay, cool. I mean, I'm curious about it. I keep wanting the DC EU to kind of find its footing. And I loved the Batman. As a matter of fact, I was watching it in the background earlier today. And I'm kind of all for this idea of let's not try to make a fully cohesive universe. Let's just tell stories around these DC characters. I think that's a great idea. And I get the impression that this will be also part of that. I don't think that they're continuing off from Wonder Woman and the Justice League and the Man of Steel and all that stuff. This is its own thing, which I think is cool. That said, I get the impression that they were building towards a Justice Society storyline of some sort, because Black Adam has been on the Justice Society. I think he's also been an enemy of the Justice Society. So that's really interesting, as comics tend to do. And I gotta give Rock credit for committing to this character, because he's been pushing for this. God, I want to say for a decade.
Yeah, and I feel like this particular Black Adam movie was kind of like floundering in production for quite some time as well.
Oh yeah, until he got his hands on it. I think he had mentioned he wanted to do it, but then I think he actually started his production company and got into a position where he could just make it happen himself. So I think that he's maybe a producer on this as well. Also, I gotta say, I want to see Rock as a heel. Like, I want to see The Rock be a bad guy again. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with late 90s WWF television, WWE television, but The Rock was a bad guy Like, and he was so good at it that people just started to love him, you know? And so I'm curious to see if that's the direction they're going to go, where it's going to be, you know, the villain you love to hate, you know, because he's a great villain. Like, he's actually really good at it. So, yeah, let us know what you think in the comments, guys. Let us know. Actually, we got Monkey Jeepers here talking about the Hellfire Gala. The Hellfire Gala costumes, the Marvel Future Fight game stats suck.
Okay, sure. Okay. You know what? I love a hot take. Like, self-proclaimed queen of hot takes. I love when someone just comes in real hot with like, I love this or I hated this.
I hate it. It's the worst thing. Right. It's the worst thing. Absolutely. No, you know, you gotta love nerds for when they break out like, this is the worst thing ever.
Right.
All right, let's you know, normally it's the part where we do a trailer, but it just so happens that the June previews catalog is in comic shops right now, and we're gonna make sure that you guys are aware of some of the gems of the month that are getting highlighted this month from some of all of our premier publishers. I'm talking about Dynamite, Boom, Image, like, you know, all the heavy hitters. They're here to play, and here are the gems of the month for the month of June 2022.
Hey everyone, Mia here with a look at the gems of the month inside this month's previews catalog. Here's what's available to pre-order at comic shops now. Be sure to pick up a copy of this month's previews catalog to see all the amazing pop culture goodies that you can pre-order at your friendly local comic shop.
All right, these of course are all things that you can pre-order, as Anamia pointed out. So the June previews catalog is in comic shops today. It's been in comic shops for the last 2 weeks. Orders are going to be closing in another 2 weeks, I want to say. So, and these are all items that are going to be showing up at your local comic shop in August. So that's how previews works. Like, that's the gist of it. 2 months ahead or more sometimes, you know, when it comes to collectibles that are available to pre-order now, and then you show up at your local comic shop after you pre-order, pick them up when it's time. It's really simple. So head over to previewsworld.com/pullbox if you want to play, but you can also go to previewsworld.com/catalog as well if you aren't interested in signing up. But you should sign up because A, gives your comic shop an idea of what kind of customer you are, what the type of things that you like to pick up, and also you just don't miss out if you have Pullbox. You know what I mean? Like, you become familiar with them, they become familiar with you, and it becomes a friendship. Yay. And if My Little Pony has taught me anything, friendship is magic.
Wow. Wow. Okay, cool. You got it.
I got it. You gonna let me have that one? Okay, thank you.
That caught me so off guard. Yes, you deserve that.
I deserve that. Okay, I thought you were gonna try to wrestle it from me and claim it as your own.
No,
but you're just gonna let me have it.
That was so impressive. You worked in a My Little Pony reference.
I did.
God, I'm impressed.
And God help me, my brain is such junk that was the first thing that I didn't write that down. That was just the first thing that came to mind.
That was incredible.
All right, let's get to sorry. Let's get on over to Social Swamp. All right, let's see if we can do some more hysterical laughter. Or maybe not. Maybe this will be interesting. Actually, I got a hot take for you on this one, and it's going to be probably problematic. So let's see. Let's do it. Social Swamp time.
I am itching to see how Troy has a hot take for this week's Social Swamp, because I thought this was a fairly ambivalent, like in middle of the road question. Like, I didn't really think there was a way to have a hot take. So we'll see. We asked you guys to tell us which creator has had the biggest influence on you as a reader. So let's see what you guys had to say. Christopher says, Mike Grell for sure. I wouldn't consider him one of my top favorites today, but his Green Arrow taught me to expect a little more from comics. David Lapham is similar. Stray Bullets was the first non-superhero comic I ever encountered and opened up a whole world of comics outside of DC and Marvel, which I still love. And then Jonathan Hickman, who is just on another level with what he's done over the last decade.
I like that. Good job, Christopher.
Carl says Joe Kubert and Robert. Help me out here, Troy.
Ooh, that one I don't know. Robert Kanigher? I'm going to say Kanigher.
I accept. Joe's covers coupled with Robert's scripts, I fell in love with the exploits of Sergeant Rock and Easy Company. They sent me to explore all the other war books DC published. From the fantastical to the weird, those books and characters are still my favorite of all time.
Awesome.
Colin said Claremont during his X-Men run couldn't put those issues down. Cheryl said, the late, forever great Michael Turner. Even after I stopped reading comics as obsessively as I used to, I always go back to Witchblade, and I keep a signed copy of #1, as well as the crossover Devil's Reign cover he did with Witchblade and Elektra, my 2 favorite female comic characters, on display in my office.
Nice.
Zach says Jeff Johns because he revolutionized Green Lantern with his storytelling. If asked about novels, it would be R.A. Salvatore. His world and character building in the Forgotten Realms book changed how I mentally saw books. Keegan says, as a kid, I loved comics for the superheroes and the artwork. As an adult, I grew to appreciate the writers and the story. It's really hard to narrow it down, but I'd have to say Claremont for his 90s X-Men run, challenging boundaries, pushing comics forward. Of course, Lee was part of that. And with his now iconic X-Men look.
All right, cool. So, we didn't really talk about this beforehand. I don't know if you have someone that you want to throw into the ring here. But I definitely do. So I don't know. Do you have anything, Ashton?
So I actually honed in on a very specific piece of work that I actually read earlier this year. It's by Alex Oseman, my favorite. It's Heartstopper Volume 4. And it came out last year in December. And I picked it for a very specific reason. And it's because she really nails a dichotomy in this book that felt like a gut punch. Her art is very she does cutesy art, and her characters are very animated and adorable. But this book it really dives deep into Charlie's eating disorder and his time in the hospital recovering from his eating disorder. And she pulls no punches with it. And it's just really I don't know if you can kind of see it, but all of this stuff about mental health treatment and treating eating disorders. And it just, I don't know, it stuck with me for a really long time after I read it, because it just felt so true to life in that she could nail down the hardest things you go through and the greatest things you go through, and the fact that they exist at the same time.
Oh, wow. That's deep.
Yeah.
That is deep. Interesting. Okay. All right. I'm not surprised that you picked Alice Oseman, but I love it. I like that insight. That's actually pretty cool. Also, shout out to Heartstopper on Netflix. I don't think I ever talked about it. I definitely watched the first 2 episodes and I got sidetracked, but it was actually pretty good.
It's cute.
It's very British, very gay.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yes and yes.
Yes and yes. All right. You know what? For me, man, after that very sensitive, very thoughtful
go ahead and ruin it.
Pick here, I gotta say, I was thinking about it. I want to say Stan Lee, but I couldn't really pinpoint what exactly it was. I think it was really that Stan Lee was the first person I ever recognized as a writer. And I know there's probably people in the comments who are gonna be he didn't write anything. Okay, I understand. Okay, fine, sure, whatever. You feel any way you want to feel about that, but
right.
He's definitely one of the first people I ever recognized as a creator, not just in comics, but just anything. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna have to stick my neck out here, man, and I'm gonna have to choose Warren Ellis. I gotta say it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know I gotta say it, but here's the thing, right? Ellis taught me to just freaking write, and that is probably the most important lesson, right? I had always, I'd been in journalism class and high school, and the yearbook staff, and I had to write stuff, of course, right? I wrote reviews for the school paper and all sorts of stuff like that, but that was because those were assignments, you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But the idea of just writing for myself and then putting it out there, just aggressively putting it out there, probably to the annoyance of many of my friends at the time. That came from Warren Ellis. That really did. Yeah. He was very big on the internet as a base for creative output, and a lot of creators that we all know came from that from the Warren Ellis hub that was his website and his message boards. So I don't think that it's You can call them problematic, sure. I get it. Whatever.
Right.
But at the same time, we can't deny the history.
Right.
My own personal history with it, but also just the history of, the fact that people like Kelly Sue
Sure.
DeConnick and Chip Zdarsky and Matt Fraction came from, Warren Ellis's, I keep wanting to say hub, but that's the best way I could put it, online. And just seeing his output just kind of made me think, probably for better or worse, like, hell, I could do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just start throwing caution to the wind and just write stuff. And hopefully I'll get better. Verdict's still out on that, but I got a comic coming out for the Previews World.
Like you've gotten better for sure. Congratulations.
I do have a comic coming out from a publisher, and it's coming to Previews World, so definitely keep an eye out for Fight of the Century this August. But
it's going to be in the June catalog, or it's going to be in the August catalog.
It'll be in the August catalog for an October release because it's got some soft horror touches. So we're going to try to have fun with that. MMA, horror, MMA, body horror, and cyberpunk. So there you go.
Ooh.
Yes, and I will definitely be talking about that a little bit more on the show later. Let's see here. What do you have? Warren Ellis, my favorite writer. Planetary is the best. Thank you, Monkey Jeeves. Thanks for backing me up on that. I felt a little alone out there. Jamie Hernandez on Love and Rockets for my first comic exposure. I've reread the first run so many times that the covers are coming off. Oh, I love that. When you've just read a book so obsessively that it just starts to fall apart.
I mean, you've made fun of me for this, but my copy of Catcher in the Rye has definitely seen better days.
I mean, I actually buy used books instead. I think we talked about this before. I'll buy a used book off of Amazon or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's like a Stray almost, or something like that.
They need love.
They need love. Exactly. That's what I mean. Johnny, you're about to jump in here. What happened?
No, I was going to say we lost your audio for a second.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
It was basically. I don't know about you, Ashton, but all I heard is he started talking about the book. It went silent. And then when you came back, Troy, all I heard was, you know what I mean? Like, no idea.
It's funny because Ashton actually followed up perfectly with what I just said, which is that I feel like, those used books are like strays.
I mean, I caught that part where you said they were like strays, and I was like, yeah, of course, they need love. Like somebody else loved that book once.
Yeah.
And there's no reason why I can't be loved again.
Absolutely. What else we got here? Remarkable by my standards. What are you referring to, Arlesia? Let us know. But yeah, Arlesia, I haven't read. Okay, I've read some books lately. Hopefully, you're having a real conundrum here. I don't know what's going on there.
Freaking illiterate.
Ashton, you can't call the commenters illiterate or ignorant. You can't.
I didn't call anyone.
I will turn Ashton's mic off like that. There we go. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry.
I can unmute myself.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, she can actually.
I didn't say they were illiterate. I said they might have been stricken illiterate.
Oh, stricken illiterate. Okay, got you. Like it came down upon them like a thunderbolt.
Right.
Understood. Okay, got you. Sorry, I didn't hear that part. I was like, Ashton, no. Okay. All right. What is this week's poll? What are we talking about? Miss Marvel?
Oh, yes. We were talking about Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel dropped on Disney Plus today.
Oh, yes.
First episode's out. So I asked you guys if you planned on watching it with an enthusiastic heck yeah or middle of the road meh.
This is going to be dicey. I don't know. Johnny, we're the MCU people here, right? Yeah. We're the people that are like fully invested in the MCU. Ashton's like, is Andrew Garfield in it? I don't care.
Everyone likes Andrew Garfield.
Okay, that's fair. Actually, real quick, there's a really great interview with him and Zendaya. Like they just sit across from each other and talk for like an hour, and it's actually pretty interesting. It's on YouTube. Anyway, Johnny, are you invested in this? Are you gonna make appointments to go see this the way that you did with like, I don't know, Moon Knight or any of the other shows?
Here's the thing. I saw a meme like a couple weeks ago, and it was like, our kids in the future in the year 2050 or whatever, now having to watch 287 Marvel movies and TV shows to get the backstory to know what's going on.
Yeah, that's fair.
That being said, I've actually already watched it. I watched it. I did double duty today. So I've already watched the first episode of Miss Marvel, and I watched the most recent episode of Kenobi.
Oh man. I saw a spoiler today, and I'm so mad about that because I have not gotten past episode 3, and not because it's bad. I need to catch up. So, but yeah,
I mean, this is one of those things where I'm familiar with Kamala Khan, and I've never read the comics. I know how much like critical acclaim that her books have gotten. There's only so much time in the day, and there's so much great comics out there to read. But still, I mean, because of, like you said, because of the fact that we're so already invested in like this big grand story that they're telling here, it's like, I mean, I want to see it all to the end. I want to know every nook and cranny and every little story of this entire world. So I've watched it already, and I loved it. I think it was great. So I'm okay. Heck yes. And 68.3% are green. So.
All right, cool. I got Arlesia in here saying, "Don't do spoilers. I hate spoilers. We're not going to do any spoilers. You're good." We did a soft Obi-Wan review last week, and we didn't spoil anything, and I was very proud of us because I know sometimes that's difficult in heated nerd conversations, right?
Yes.
But yeah, no spoilers. I'm going to check it out. Like I have not read that much Miss Marvel, but I did read the first arc of the G. Willow Wilson run, and I've read some of the crossover stuff she's done just because like it permeated some other books I was reading. The simplest way I could put it is it's like the comics at least, or like Spider-Man, like the early Spider-Man stories where it's like kid who's having a problem struggling with powers on top of like teenage life, and so that stuff always plays. So I'm curious to see how much they change and how much they keep. I already know some of the Miss Marvel fans are a little hot about them changing the origin story of Miss Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they it looks, I don't know, I don't want to speculate too much, but it looks like she's got the quantum bands, which is typically a old school Captain Marvel Rick Jones thing. I think that's what they're doing here, so we'll see.
Okay.
But yeah,
let me just chime in saying I just love Miss Marvel. Is she going to be in her own comic book? Well, that's what you were just talking about, is the fact that like is that the one that you were talking about, Troy? It came out like 5-6 years ago, something.
Absolutely. Okay. No, she's definitely gonna. I'm not sure if Arlesia is joking or not, to be honest, but like she definitely has a bunch of comics, and I would definitely recommend the G. Willow Wilson run. That is definitely the one that still feels the most fully realized. It's also the just most upbeat, most fun, and most authentic, I kind of feel. All right, comic shop shout out time. Who is the comic shop shout out this week, Ashton?
This week's comic shop shout out goes to The Tangled Web, which is a great name for a comic shop. Yeah. That's in Spartansburg, South Carolina, and it's sent in by Ron. And he said they're great. Of course they are. So we'll show you some pictures inside of The Tangled Web during the credits roll. You can check out their shop. If you want us to shout out your local comic book shop on the show, sign us on social media, tag your shop. If they don't have a handle, just leave their name and use the hashtag #SupportYourLCS. We'll find your local comic book shop, shout them out on the show, and give them some love.
Give them some love, which is what we're here to do. Give comic shops love. Absolutely. True. All right. So I just want to remind you guys to head on over to PrezeRoll.com, right? As a matter of fact, this week on PrezeRoll.com has really been a great place for sci-fi. I know that in general, what we handle is in the sci-fi category, but I'm talking about the pure sci-fi, the uncut stuff. Like we got some really cool things going on right now on the website. In particular, I have an interview with Montos, an artist who's a rising star over at Heavy Metal Magazine. And he has this series called Entropy, which is actually written by Christopher Priest. Christopher Priest, of course, did Vampirella, reimagined, almost like kind of reimagined Vampirella, definitely reimagined Mid Black Panther, and had the definitive take on that character, I think, at this point. Okay. And of course, has written Deathstroke and a bunch of other stuff. But this book is promising to introduce the world to heavy metal's premier supervillain. So this is going to be the beginning of a much larger story, and I've been told that it's definitely going to weave in and out of the heavy metal universe that they had been proposed about about a year ago. This is like the first big initial step in that direction. So definitely check out that interview, get a glimpse of some of Montos's art, and understand why he's such a rising star. Also, I am so excited about this. Starhenge by Liam Sharp. Liam Sharp, of course, has done stuff like Green Lantern. I actually first discovered him in X-Men Unlimited in the 90s. And he has a very distinctive, very wild, very like just elaborate style. And he's also a really nice dude. He agreed to do an interview with me for his new Image comic, which is creator-owned, called Starhenge. And yeah, he has this really interesting, this really interesting kind of, I don't want to say grimdark, but he has this kind of grimdark style that's just really awesome. And here's something for you guys. It's a science fiction take on Arthurian legend.
Ooh, I'm with that.
Yeah, so King Arthur is a catalyst, not the main character, but is a catalyst for the story. And I'm sorry, Merlin is the catalyst for the story. And yeah, and it's dealing with magic and science, and it's doing some really interesting things. So I'm very curious, especially since I know that Liam Sharp was rolling with Grant Morrison, who's very much into the magic. So I'm very curious what this is going to be, and I'm very, very much looking forward to that. Starhenge, which should be dropping next month, the first issue, but get an early glimpse over at previewsworld.com right now. Outside of that 200th episode, guys, once the show wraps up, we're 3 episodes away. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And we definitely will be reminding you that our 200th episode is coming. I'm thinking we should just invite everybody on the show. That's my take.
Let's just do it.
Everybody. If you've ever been on Previews World ever, just come on to the show. I think Johnny just had a heart attack.
Right. Oh my God.
But it's going to be an occasion for sure. Any Fox, are either of you going to STCC? I actually am not, unfortunately. Are you going, Ashton?
I'm not either.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Look, we were on a hot streak. I think I've gone 4 years straight. I think how many years had you been going?
I'd gone twice.
Twice. Okay. So not really a streak, but
I don't know. I mean, I got to go my very first year I got hired at Diamond, which felt like a huge nerd victory for me.
Yeah. I'm actually a little jealous. I was like, man, they waited 2 years to send me. But no, we won't be going this year, but Previews World will be represented there, as well as our mothership Diamond Comics distributors, and I'm pretty certain Diamond Select Toys will also be there as well.
Yeah, they'll be there.
So yeah, definitely Johnny's giving me the thumbs up on that. So yeah, definitely say hi to our family, our extended family and friends, and be sure to pick up some free swag, because they always give away free swag. And you also get a glimpse into what's available coming soon to Previews World, and what's also currently available to Previews World's catalog. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And that's it.
Whoa.
Too bad, so sad.
I don't think so. I think we did okay. Right?
I think we did all right. Yeah, I think we did good. I think we should give ourselves a pat on the back. We moonwalked. We didn't moonwalk through this, but we recovered really nicely, I think.
I doubt I will ever see the day we moonwalk through an
I think you're 100% right. Yes, I think you're 100% right. But you know what? The chaotic energy, I think you said this before, is part of its charm.
I love it. This show's a hot mess, and that's the best part.
That's the best part, absolutely. Awesome. Cool.
Yes.
Super awesome. Bye, guys. That's it for Previews World Weekly. I'm one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
I'm your other host, Ashton Greenwood.
And we will catch you guys at the Spinner Rack. Catch you next week.
Don't forget that you can catch Previews World Weekly streaming live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific at Previews World on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.